Right, question 11, 2000 take away 18.3 plus 25.8. Now when you've got a subtraction and an add going on like this, and it's quite complicated, you can't do this in your head, I would just do it one step at a time. So let's work that out. 2000 take away 18.3. So we need to line them up in like a column format. And you can see how I've lined them up here. Decimal point shows this type of number, that these are units, these are tens, and of course 2000 then. This is lined up properly, there's your units, tens. So what I need to do is put a point and a 0, okay? And I need to subtract in this case. Now, 0 take away 3, of course, I can't do that, so I need to go to the next column and borrow, but there's nothing there, so I need to go to the next column, and there's nothing there, so I need to keep going, and then I can borrow from here, can't I? Borrow 1 from there, so that becomes a 1, and the 1 I borrow, I've got to write here, okay? Now I can keep going like this. Now I've got 10 here, I can borrow from here, so that becomes a 9, and then I can put the 1 I borrow there, and then I can keep going, so I borrow from this 10 here, makes it a 9, so the 1 I put there, and then I keep going again, okay, borrow from that 10, becomes a 9, and then I put the 1 there. 10 take away 3 is 7, 9 take away 8 is 1, 9 take away 1 is 8, 9 take away nothing is 9, 1 take away nothing is 1, okay, so 1, 9, 8, 1, and of course there's a decimal point there. It's important I put that in there, 0.7. Now, once you've got that, you then need to add the 25.8. So let's line them up. So when we add these, 7 and 8 is 15, so 5 carry 1. Okay, 15, 5 carry 1, 1 and 6, 5 is 6, plus the 1 is 7, 8 and 2 is 10, so 0 carry 1, 9 plus the 1 is 10, so 0 carry 1, and then the 1 and the 1 is 2. So there's my answer there, 2007.5. Okay, question 12, 30% of 80 is the same as 20% of. That's what you need to see this equals representing. It's just saying is the same as. So 30% of 80, well what is 30% of 80? Well 10% will be 8. That means 30% is 24, okay? So basically, this here is 24, okay? So we can rewrite this now saying 24 equals 20% of something, okay? 20% of something is 24. Now, if 20% of something is 24, we can think what 10% is going to be, okay? Because 20% of whatever this is turns out to be 24, so 20% is 24. 10% then, of course, will be half of that, which is 12. And if 10% is 12, you can work out what 100% is. Okay? So 100% would be making this 10 times bigger. So 10 times bigger of that is just 120. So really, the number that needs to go there is 120. And you can always check, you can go back and you realise that you've got the right answer. Question 13, write 5% as a decimal. Remember 5% is 5 over 100, and that would be 0.05 as a decimal. Ratio 1 to 7 is the same as 2 to something. Now when it comes to ratio, I like to line them up rather than the way it's done there. So in this case, it's a simple case, but you can see here, you've got to times this by 2, haven't you? You've got to double that. Well, you need to scale this up as well, double that, so you get 14. So we need to have 14 there in place. There, okay. Round this then, so remember significant figures, you take the first two important numbers, okay, which is the 7 and the 6, and then you check the next one, and if it's 5 or more, you round up. Now, because it's a 4, you don't round up, it stays the same. So it stays as 7, 6, but don't leave that as your answer, because 76 is nowhere near that. You need to fill in zeros then for the remaining 2, just to show the value of that number, that it is 7,600. Question 16, 5% of 140. Well, you know to work out 10% first is 14 divided by 10, so 5% then is half of that, which is 7. 90% of 600. Well, what I do is I work out 10% first. 10% is 60, and then to get 90%, I'm going to do, you can think of 90% as like 100%. Take away 10%, can't you? So 100% is 600. Take away then 10%, you end up with 540. Okay, question 17. What fraction is exactly halfway between 0.64 and 14/25? Well, you want to be halfway, so what I would do here is try and change these maybe. You could change them into decimals to help you. Because they're talking about fractions, I might just change them into fractions. 64/100 is what that is. 0.64, 64/100, isn't it? Because it's like 64%. Yeah, think about it that way if you want. 64%, which is 64/100. Now compare it with 14/25. Of course, to compare fractions, we need the bottom numbers the same, so maybe we'll make that out of 100 as well. So you times that by 4, times the top by 4, and you get 56. So you've got 56/100, 64/100. What is exactly halfway in between? Well, if you think about it, in between will be 60/100. Okay, so that's exactly in between, halfway in between there. Now, if we cancel this down, 6/10 becomes 3/5. Okay, zeros go, and you can halve top and bottom there, so you get 3/5.